The Mustardseed Media Video Podcast is sponsored and created by Mustardseed Media, Inc., creating and developing media and web for tomorrow's Christian ministries. On the web at mustardseedmedia.com.
Okay, so let's open up Drupal.org and let's do a little CMS magic. Okay, so let's start with this Photoshop document here, and let's turn this thing into a website. Let's get right down to it and edit some CSS, shall we? Welcome to the Mustardseed Media Video Podcast. My name is Bob, and this is the podcast for Drupal web designers. It's been a couple weeks. I've been on vacation, but I am back and ready to show you something else very cool for the Drupal content management system. Something else that we at Mustardseed have decided has just been needed by the Drupal community. So we went ahead and had it developed ourselves by our partner company, innovatingtomorrow.net. It is the Views Carousel Module. Views, as we always say here, is the future of Drupal. Views, CCK, all that kind of stuff. So we want everything we do to be able to easily work with views, especially when we're listing things or when we're showing groups of different things. Making a carousel, and you'll see what that is in just a minute if it doesn't pop to mind, is one of those things that we want to be able to do easily by just creating a view and choosing carousel as the type of view that it is. So we went ahead and commissioned creation of the Views Carousel Module. There was already a Views Carousel Module for Drupal 5 that existed. It had sort of stayed in development, sort of lingered for a while. So we went ahead and with the rewrite of views and everything, it just made sense for us to start from scratch. So we started from scratch, wrote a Views plugin that is basically a Views implementation of the jQuery jCarousel module or plugin. So we went ahead and implemented that into Views, and it works awesome. It's still in development. There's a few things that still need to be finished on it, but I'm going to show it to you today because it's a great, easy way to spice up the look of your site using a carousel. So let's dive in. So this is the Views Carousel page. You will notice there's a Drupal 5 version and a Drupal 6 version. What I'm going to show you today is the Drupal 6 version. It's the version that we worked on, we developed, and that's what we want to show you today. So what we're going to do is I created this little fun gallery of dogs. Dogs are cool, right? So it's just a photo gallery, just a bunch of photos here. And this photo gallery is actually a view. I'll show you real quick what makes this up. I just created a new content type called photo, and then I just added a field that's a image field upload for CCK. And that's all that's creating this gallery. It is a view. Let's go ahead and look at that view. And this gallery part isn't really that important. I just wanted to show you, give you an idea of the lay of the land here before I start. But all it is a view that's showing one piece of content, which is the photo that I uploaded, and it's being linked to a node. And that's really all you have to know just about the general layout. I'm creating a photo gallery there. So let's go ahead and add a carousel. Let's say on our home page, we didn't want to show all the images, but we wanted to give a nice little overview of a few images in our gallery. What we can do is we can build a new view. I'm going to create this one as a block. Everything else is basically going to stay the same. I want to filter by type. I just want to show the photo upload, the image that I uploaded. I'm going to leave a lot of the other stuff the same. I'm going to name my block Dogs Carousel. And then the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my style. Views Carousel adds a new style. And I'm just going to choose Views Carousel. I'm going to choose Override so I don't screw up my original view. Update it. Now I've got a bunch of options here. I'm going to go through them real quick. These are all in the documentation for Views Carousel if you go to the documentation link from the project page. But basically I can group my content. There's 3 preset skins. 2 of them are actual preset design skins, 1 custom. I found it easiest, at least at this point, to go ahead and just choose one of the skins that I like and then modify the style of it rather than choosing custom. So I'm going to do that. We can display our carousel vertically. Then this sort of gets into what is our carousel actually showing. I'm going to say that we're going to show 9 items in the carousel. Now you'll notice need to test this one is still here. That's just a note that this may or may not work properly yet. Now we can have our different animations as the carousel moves back and forth. We can also have an auto scroll. Let's do that. We can wrap our content. So when you get to the end of the carousel, does it wrap back to the beginning? I'll say both, and then I'm going to update that. And you still may be going, what the heck is a carousel? But I'm going to show you. I figure it's easier just to build it, and then you can see what exactly we're doing. And then you can go back and see some of the stuff that we're doing if you need to do that. So I'm going to save this. What we did is we just created a block that's a views carousel. Let me show you just real quick. All it is I have the Views Carousel Module installed. I didn't show you that to begin with. You'll see it's in development right now. But that and anything after Views 2 should work fine. So let's go ahead and enable our block. That is the carousel. You'll see I have my block called Dog Carousel. I'm going to throw it in the footer. Just going to be a little easier to see then. And then I'm going to go to our home page and we're going to look at that. So here's what a carousel is. You probably recognize this now. It allows us to move back and forth. We did put that auto scrolling on, so if you see if I don't do anything, it just goes ahead and auto scrolls. But you're saying, hey, none of this fits, none of it works. A big part of setting up Views Carousel is theming it, is styling it. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. If we look at Firebug, there's a few things. There's basically 3 things that we have to set up to style this. The first is the container size. It's a class called jCarousel Container Horizontal. So I'm going to go into my style sheet. I'm going to add that. I'm also going to target just this specific block. And then all I'm going to do is, originally is I'm going to set a width on that. I'll set a width of 800 pixels. Let's shift refresh, see what that did. Yep, okay, so now our container's out. The second thing we have to change is basically the part of the carousel. Let me see if I can grab it here. The part of the carousel that actually limits and crops the images. It's called jCarousel Clip Horizontal. So I'm going to set that in here as well. And what this does is it sets the clipping area. So I'm going to set the width to 800, same as the other. And then I'm going to set a height of 200 pixels. Let's see the result of that. That should make our carousel bigger. Yep, okay, so it's bigger. But now our images, the actual images themselves, no, not the images themselves, but the image displays are being cropped. And that is, let me see if I can find it here. It's just called jCarousel Item. So we're going to theme jCarousel Item to be the size that we want. Okay, so now if we save this, we should have a full-size functioning carousel with our images. There we go. So now it auto-scrolls. We can click on the images to view that page. Very simple. Now, a couple of things to note here. You'll notice that with the styling, we had to do some things. You might be saying to yourself, what if all my images aren't the same size? I would say one word to you. Image cache would be an excellent idea for a carousel. When you're in a carousel and you're showing images, image cache is going to be phenomenal to making sure everything fits perfectly and looks nice in your carousel. So use image cache. I didn't use it here just for the sake of time. And also, we would love some of this sizing stuff to be automatic, for it to recognize maybe the highest image that you're putting in there and just auto resize the carousel and do all that stuff. Hopefully that'll come in some future versions. But right now, this gives you a very, very simple way to build a very cool carousel for your images. So hopefully you dig Views Carousel. It's a module that we hope to do a lot of development on in the future and to make it more robust and make it easier to use. If you have questions, go ahead and post them over at mustardseedmedia.com/podcast under this episode. And I'm going to try and respond to everybody's comments. You've been awesome leaving comments over there. And I just haven't been able to get to them because of vacation. So until then, until next week, we'll see you later.